YouTube? What's happening TikTok? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you do hear fireworks going off, it's because I live in Kansas City. Well, you know. And, well, the Chiefs apparently just won because I can hear the fireworks going off. It does sound like an absolute war zone. We do like our fireworks. Sorry. I feel bad for anybody that doesn't live where you can shoot fireworks off. We can shoot fireworks off like year-round, and then it turns out people can't shoot them off at all. Not even on 4th of July. You got to go to a show? Oh, man. Your life must suck. Anyway, do me a huge solid, guys. I know I'm a little bit premature, but please hit the like button. Follow me. You know, we'll get into the rest. If you don't like it, I promise you can always unfollow. It is free, and your thumbs do not get carpal tunnel just from that move. But looks like we're live, rock and rolling. YouTube has been playing the back and forth game for am I live or am I not? So if there is any just future awkward intros, that's why I'm just BS and waiting for that. So we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over the dollar, U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, Bitcoin, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and we better be going over Tesla. Please don't let me forget Tesla because I'm in Tesla. So let's rock and roll. Oh, my admins. I got one admin here. We're doing it. All right, so as far as the dollar goes, it gapped down. I am a little bit – there's something on my head on – sorry. I'm live on YouTube and TikTok, and something just popped up on my head. Someone did something. Someone gifted something. Anyway, shout out to you for that. Admins are in the house. All right, the U.S. dollar gapping down at the open, which is exactly what we want to see because right now it's kind of worried. This is a speed bump zone. We're kind of just hanging out. This is a weekly zone. I'm a little bit more worried about this yellow zone down here. There's something going on the U.S. dollar Japanese yen pair that I really needed to break through that I am watching for a bounce. Overall, as far as the U.S. dollar goes, that is a picture-perfect, Google it, bear flag pattern. So we do have the interest rate decision this week. It's going to be 25 basis points. You know, some people are talking about 50 basis points, and all of a sudden last week there's a 75 basis point conversation going on. Listen, I appreciate living in La La Land. I wish I could. Unfortunately, I don't, so I can't really talk about cool things like that. But it sure would be cool, because if we did that, you know, almost any put would do that's not actually bullish. That would signal an absolute panic, and the Feds are out of control. So 25 basis points. That's all right. It's going to affect the dollar. The S&P might be already pricing that in, so I am expecting probably a sell-off after. They come in and say something crazy like 50 or 75 basis points. I think we really sell off. That's not a bullish thing like some people are thinking. But anyway, I'll probably expect more selling off on the dollar. I am incredibly short this thing. I did leave the market makers some notes. So when they follow me, this is what it needs to do. Now, we're one arrow already in. We just need to finish off the other arrow, and then baby steps, right? It's the thing that people with AMC really miss. I said AMC to 100,000, okay? Milestones. Let's first talk. Let's get the first one down. Let's get triple digits. Let's get to $100. Then we'll talk about 1,000, then 10,000, and so on. So as soon as we get to this one, I'll just draw another arrow down. So, you know, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Goldman Sachs, they all know where to put their money. Anyway, that is a monthly zone, so we'll see how that plays out. I do want to talk about this zone, though, right here. Daily zone. I don't want it to bounce out of here. That to me is going to suck. I did tighten up some stops, and by tight, I mean I'm probably, I think, like 100 pips away as far as where my stop actually is. But it's because I can see it bouncing here for a little bit. And, well, most people that are following me probably aren't trading it the way I am. They probably have a much tighter stop. I would not be too entirely surprised to see it bounce up to here, up to this zone here, up to that 144-ish mark, 144, 145. The only difference here is I only have monthly zones drawn out on this. So if it does bounce, it's going to be the top of that monthly zone. So hopefully I tag out and then I'm able to get back in. Hang on a second. Something really loud just happened, and either a neighbor might be missing an arm or one of my kids did something. But no one's crying, so Hopefully they're still alive. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. Ooh, sucks. It's a red candle. Cody, where you at? Now, I do have a bet going on with my admins that we do not leave these blue zones. I owe them Chipotle. And what they didn't know they were agreeing to is that if it does stay in here, so if it breaks out, I owe them Chipotle. If it doesn't, they're going to take the mic and they're going to run a public stream. So if you see all of a sudden me go live and it's not me, just know it's my admins. They're going to explain why they were wrong. In all seriousness, though, Cody has actually done a mentorship stream of mine. He has been in here long enough to he knows the answers I'm going to give to people. So I wouldn't even be I wouldn't even be too upset. I'd just be happy for a day off. Cody was great. Yeah, that was good too. I was not upset. All right. So anyway, expect a stream from probably Cody for sure. I'll probably have to just go to where Matt lives and get him to to go on live. I say that because I just think Bitcoin's probably going to hang out. I think it's going to hang out till after elections. You know, by hang out I mean a range between 54 and we'll call it 62.5. So still a wide range for anybody that is trading it. I just don't think we actually break out of this for a little bit. So anyway, not much to break down, and people do ask me all the time, especially on TikTok. I know there's a lot of news. What is this BTC? It is Bitcoin. I would be really surprised if you hadn't heard about it. I forgot where I was going with that. I really do. Either way. You really don't know what Bitcoin is? Oh, people ask me all the time on TikTok. Yeah, and then new people occasionally jump in here on YouTube and ask, what do I do with crypto? You know, I don't trade it. I do buy Bitcoin and Ethereum every week, and that's it. It's still in its infancy stage. We just got ETFs for it. But you know, we've had we had the cryptocurrency, then we had the futures, and then the futures ETF, some ETFs and options. So again, very much still in its infancy stage. And from what I'm hearing, is it Super MicroStrategies? One of them thinks it's going to go to $13 million a coin. So either A, this is Venezuela, right, and that'll buy us a roll of toilet paper, or B, I'm going to be balling out of control. I hope it does. All right. Okay, now before we get into normally I go in order, right? S&P, Nasdaq, and the Russell. But I was going over the expected moves, and I'll pull this up real quick so you guys can see it. Here's the expected moves. The only downside is, okay, for the mobile users, if you have it vertical, this might be small, but it's IWM, QQQ, SPY, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Google, Ford, Palantir, Intel, and AMD. This is the expected move for the week, again, where market makers do handicap risk. They are even bigger than last week. So not last week, but the week prior, 3 standard deviations down, 1% chance that was going to happen. We almost went 2 standard deviations last week. 95% chance that does not happen. Or 95% chance we don't exceed that. Sorry. Anyway, usually when we surprise the market makers like that, expected moves jump a lot wider. We're pricing in a much wider move, and a lot of times the fireworks are kind of done. It's a very dull week almost. So we broke it again, and the moves are even each week. The expected move has gotten wider, which means we're pricing in a much bigger move. We do have the Fed rate decision this week, but a lot of these are like IWM is usually 5. Last week it was 6. This week it's $7. QQQ is $11. This is up or down, right? They are a neutral delta, so this is not directional bias. SPY, SPY. I don't know why I said it like that. The S&P, $10.42. This is also usually like $6. This is nuts. This kind of makes me want. This kind of makes me want to sell all the options. Like I kind of want to sell all the calls and all the puts. $10.50 out of the money right now on SPY, and just call it. Just because I think, and I talked about this past couple streams. not to say that it's unprecedented, but the last time we've kind of had moves like this, it was during the Rona, right? When we were just absolutely melting down. Things were getting weird. So it's just kind of wild to see the expected move like that. So here's how it looked last week. 68% chance we stay. Oh, hang on. Let me bring that back. Stay inside this right here. And we got outside. So again, inside, let me just make this wide so you guys can just see it. These two lines right here that I draw every Sunday, we stay inside there. As soon as we get outside, it's you, the market movers, and the market makers. Again, it's like a third person jumping on the chessboard. It just adds that extra just sense of volatility in there. And not to be confused with VIX. The VIX is headed down. This is volatility because the market makers don't even know where we're going, which they get all their data from all the options that are purchased and sold. They have all that data, and they say, okay, we're going to delta hedge from here to here. And we should be good. We don't like to do any work. We shouldn't have to do any work. But this is a daily chart right here. We'll call it last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hang on. Oh my gosh. I thought we had just week down, week up. So this candle just opened. So that's us right now. As far as the open goes on futures, we are a little bit green. All last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gotcha suckers. Drop that thing down and then full send. That's what you call a bear trap. And then just absolutely sent it. Almost the week prior, the exact opposite. 3 standard deviations down, 2 standard deviations up. This is absolutely crazy. That's why I harped on it so much last week of pay attention, pump the brakes. And by pump the brakes, I mean you just take the trade if it makes sense. I buy when it makes sense. I sell when it makes sense. A lot of times when I'm telling you to manage your risk, all that, I'm telling you to dial back your allocation. Because when volatility is high, a lot of people, again, they like to spend the same, and if they're right, they just make more. But I like to spend a whole lot less. I'm risking less, but that volatility just might move the needle the exact same amount with not that much on the table. And I like that because when you're wrong, you lose a lot less. But for now, I think I'm expecting Wednesday to sell off. Wednesday should be the rate cut decision. I'm going to pull up my FX book. This is myfxbook.com. I'll just bring it down here. You click economic calendar, and you can color code it. I just took off the green. There's green, yellow, and red, just like the lights that most of you guys are probably in traffic, have no idea what they mean anyway. You might think red and think it's time to go. Anyway, Monday we have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Super huge. You're going to see YouTubers talking about this. It's going to be wild. Just kidding. All right, Fed Logan. Wolverine's coming out here. He's going to talk some things. Building permits. We should be okay. Wednesday, Fed interest rate decision, FOMC economic projections, and then we have the Fed conference. So what's going to happen here is they're going to come out with a report, and then 30 minutes later, it's going to be read to you like a librarian in story time. For those of you guys that can't read, it's going to be 30 minutes later on Wednesday. I typically don't trust the first move. That report's going to come out. It's probably going to send it one way. And then about 30 minutes later, it's going to turn around. Not all the time, but you'd be surprised how many times that does happen. You feel the dollar will weaken when the Fed's cut. Absolutely. Okay, so this is now Fed rate decision right now. We're pricing in 25 basis points. It's probably what it's going to be. Powell's not just going to just come unhinged right now and all of a sudden just dump this thing 50 or 75 basis points. A lot of people think he needs to, but a lot of people are not in his position. They don't have the power, so their opinion is irrelevant. And I don't care what anyone's opinion is. All I can worry about is who's got the mic and who's talking. We'll save the opinions for podcasts, right? We care about what's probably going to happen and how can we make that actionable for money. So the reason why I am incredibly short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, is when you raise the rates, it kind of shows you the economy's strong enough it can support that. And when you lower rates, hey, things are getting weak. Something like I told you guys, like they're not going to just lower rates just for the sake of it, right? Something's got to be broken. There's got to be signs. There's writing on the wall. And Japan's raising their rates while we're dumping ours, and we get to short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and Forex, and but we could take both those plays in one trade. I do think I would equate my U.S. dollar Japanese yen short to what I was telling you guys in 2017 about Tesla. If you guys don't know that, it went from $300 to $7,500. Just saying. It's going to happen again. You're longing the euro. I haven't checked that one out. I mean, I like the Euro USD, US dollar CAD. I'm actually short US CAD right now, very little. When I say I am in this thing short, US dollar Japanese yen, burn that thing to the absolute ground. I'm talking scorched earth because I just want to make millions off of it, like literally millions. I do want to shout out Ashley Lacken. She sent me another heart puff. Casey sent me, she said, heart me. Ashley gave me a heart to send that out. A heart puff, if you will. Was there a notification at the top of the screen that said heart puff? Anyway, so back on track. No one's going to be doing anything crazy on Tuesday. They're just not. There might be even removing some risk. I kind of expect to buy the rumor, sell the news event. I think this was pricing in the rate cut. We're going to get it, and then I think we're going to pull back. So hopefully Monday and Tuesday kind of gets us to this zone. This is all-time highs. We might even just crack all-time. We could literally cover that tomorrow. And this volatility, all-time highs, nothing. If we hit all-time highs and Wednesday pulls back, I'm probably just going to start buying calls. At the money calls, 2 weeks out on SPY. Now that this is Sunday, and then some things need to line up for that to happen. I'm getting ahead of myself saying that. That will be one of the things that I don't want to necessarily walk back later. But if things pan out just right, when we're hitting all-time highs, like back here, every day is all-time highs. Once you get in that cycle, like here's the volatility. Once we're kind of back on that grind up, then you'll hear me talk about so SPY right now, 562. When I buy an options contract, it would be 562, 2 or 3 Fridays out. That's it. I'm just going to let it do its thing. If we have a significant green day, I'll put my stop in the green and I'll trail it. Once you start to trail an options contract, it is probably just going to tag out. That's the reality of that, unless you're just so far up and that stop just remains low. So it's a hard one to kind of I talk about everything I do in advance, and then I do it. Like I showed you guys on my last live stream, I went through Discord and showed you every call out for the last 2 years. We'll play it safe. I think there's 4 losses. I know of 3 for sure, but for the last 2 years, yeah, you know what? We can just add we'll 5 and then we'll double it 10. Let's just pretend there's 10 losses in there for the last 2 years. Anyway, I talk about all that and then I do it, and then it pans out. So if you just pay attention, there's I don't know, just pay attention. Don't have to answer any questions. A whole bunch. Anyway, that's why I put that disclaimer, is because if things get weird, the volatility does stay high. Probably not the game you want to be necessarily playing or putting a whole bunch of money in. All right, so as far as the S&P, we have a green open. I am bullish tomorrow. Tuesday, I'm probably going to be with the market makers. Like, man, let's chill out. Because Wednesday is going to be an absolute ghost town. And then everyone's going to wake up, during the rate decision. So Monday, I think we'll be trading full on. I'm bullish. Tuesday, I'm going to be 1 foot out the door, sleeping in Wednesday, and then we're back to the regularly scheduled volatility. I will get these adjusted after the stream. So if you do have my charts, never mind. Let's just do it right now. Let's get this up here. Oh my gosh! All right, here we go. All right, so this is everything last week. IWM $6.57 this week, $7. QQQ 1380. This is a couple weeks ago. I was saying, no, Qs did not go down. SPY 1042. Let's see. Tesla, we got 1348. Let's try that again. All right, this is something I already figured out off screen. I'm just adding it to the screen now. 1755. Microsoft 1158. Nvidia, what are we talking about? 706. First of all, who's following the account that I post all the trades in? Whew. Are you kidding me with Nvidia? We sold the 118s last week. I'm like, we'll play it safe. Are you out of your mind? And then it shoots up like that to 119 or something crazy. Anyway, I'm in the 118s again, so I collected another week's worth of premium. A couple $100. If I'm not crazy. Should be a couple hundred. We did well on that. What an absolute joke, though. We collected scraps thinking it'll be safe, and then it just sends it. I almost nailed it, too, but not the kind I want. I don't want to be in management mode every week. I want to just sell worthless options contracts to gamblers. Intel 105. AMD 796. All right. So I put that indicator up because it'll pull the data, and that's why I put these lines here. I just match it real quick. And then we I'll turn the indicator off. Let me just add these real quick, and then we'll rock and roll. Man, little Russell. He was rocking. Oh. Who's bullish Tesla this week? I won't ban you if you say you're not. Just know that the thought will go through my mind. Just saying. But seriously, who's bullish Tesla this week? Let's go. Yeah, so we collected $258 for this week on that. I knew it's a couple hundred. On the Nvidia contract. But last week, so my main account, a little bit bigger than the growth account. I was in the 115s, the 116s, the 117s, and the 118s. I'm in all of them. I'm just like rolling them all up. I'm like, which I collected money on all of them. But, you know, like, I don't want to do that. All right, where's that red line at? Ooh, I do have to talk about this right here. Now, you might notice something. Can we delete? Now, if you guys haven't been following me for a while, this might surprise you. You see the cowboy hat we drew here? That's the cowboy hat pattern. I'm just saying, who remembers the last time we drew that out? To the T. Okay? I'm talking it worked out so smooth it wasn't even ostrich skin. It wasn't even like that weird like leather that looks like it's chicken pox. Perfect. Here it is again. That's all I'm saying. Guarantee everyone on TikTok is searching that right now. Wait, there's a cowboy hat pattern? Oh, yeah, 100%. If you want to be profitable, there is at least. They're definitely moving to Texas. All the way down to the boots and spurs. Google, this got asked quite a bit last week. I am selling all of the Google 150 puts, all of them. So if you want to buy one of those puts, you could, if you want, just PayPal me some money, and I'll give like a cool backdrop, like a cool story. I'll send a selfie with what I bought. But I am just going to start selling all the 150 puts on Google. I do not care if I get assigned those shares. I just don't mind buying Google at 150. But I kind of think it's on the up and up now. Palantir. Remember that one time? There's a couple times I've been made fun of on YouTube. One, when Bitcoin was at 16,000, and I said, it's time to buy. Institutions are in this. They said I was buying the peaks, and then it ran to 70. And then I bought Palantir at $10 because it had a good earnings. And I said, this is the one. Anyway, here it is at 35.59. Shout out to those guys. They're not here right now because they never really show back up. But if they are, hey, shout out to you. You're doing good. One day we'll watch your streams. Last but not least, we're going to get back to the stream. Sorry, guys. I never know if I should put these on during the stream or do it after, but then I have forgotten. What are these candles? Cody, I just had to make it a little bit easier to show off this. What's really important, Cody? That's what I did. Whatever you want, Don. Nicholas says, I have 20K worth of SPY puts. I wish that tells me anything. But I don't know the expiration date or the strike. And with SPY, with daily expirations, that could mean a whole host of things. I could be on board with whatever you're doing. Also, 20 grand, what does that mean to me? Not much. You know, like you rocking it would mean a lot if you had a $25,000 account or a $20,000 account. You should probably have more like a $2 million account. The 540, 927. So a little out of the money. Let's break this down real quick. Ooh, 540. Ooh, man, I would honestly. I hope volatility does pan out in your favor because I don't want to ever make fun of anybody, and I don't care if you have $2 million or 20 grand. 20 grand's 20 grand, right? No one wants to lose that. $10 million. I don't want to see 20 grand go anywhere. That's going to be a rough one, a very rough one to actually exceed. You're probably not going to just hold that to expiration. You have 2 weeks out. I personally, what I would have done differently is I would have bought the same amount, fewer contracts, would have bought the 560s. Because here in a little bit, let's say it does sell off on Wednesday. Let's say, first of all, Monday and Tuesday push up. We crack all-time highs. And then it sells off. Now, let's say it just sells off to this we'll call it 552, 553. That's the expected move for this week. I'm talking about how much in the money I am, and you're still very much out of the money. And Theta is going to start hammering away. You're going to start losing thousands a day. You're holding Monday or Tuesday? Okay, cool. Hopefully that does pan out. I hope it sends it. Wednesday is please. I'm not responsible for anything you do. Wednesday, I would if I'm throwing darts right now. Wednesday is when I think the sell off is. I think we announce the rate cut and then it sells off. I think it's a buy the rumor, sell the news thing. If you're thinking Monday or Tuesday. You know, there's a lot of institutions that will just remove the risk off the table, which is sell-side activity. They're not bearish. They're not going to be along for that ride. You know, so they'll close their positions, sells off. You know, maybe Powell is going to say something crazy. Somebody knows something, so they drop it down because they want cheap calls and cheap shares. I'll leave it at this. That's certainly a trade that if it went green, I would not let go red. He says, I just think we'll be red. The week will be red? I hope so. There's no way I would hold those past this week because next week, that is going to be a high flyer. I mean, your account's going to be moving. It's going to be a lot of red to less red, hopefully green kind of thing. All right, let's talk about the Nasdaq. We didn't even finish the Nasdaq. Nasdaq right here in a zone. As far as the open goes, just hanging out in this yellow zone. I guess my concerns would be if I was bearish, Monday and Tuesday were green. We kind of hit this blue zone. Wednesday we sell off, and we only get to this zone. If you're bearish, you don't even want us flirting with this wick. You want it to be left alone. I'm talking like the guy that never gets a prom date. You need to be out of here. if I was bearish, I mean, I would be nervously checking the charts, like, please don't break this zone. Because the last thing I want is to break and retest this level, and that be the area of attention. That's a new dip buy. I'd want to break right now. I'd feel much better. Merck says, how do I draw my levels? With 11 years of experience. I have videos on how I do it, but that's also why I go live and chart things out and to answer questions. I really wish I had a video I could make that just made it clear right in one video. I didn't realize you had that one. Huh. I will be very I don't know if impressed is the word. If we break the expected move 3 weeks in a row, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to really dial it back. Like I was saying the other day in my growth, the growth count, right? That's the one I talked about where I post everything. And I just got tired of people saying you can't. No one beats the S&P. No one wins that long, so they can just scroll up and look all they want. It's just we're going to continue the streak. This is the slowest. This is one of my slowest years, and I'm up 54%. And if we keep breaking the expected move, this is not to brag. If I'm going to get to, like, last year was 150%. The year before that was around the same thing. If I'm going to get to that this year, we need to rein this thing back in, right? The kids need to settle down. Class is in session, and everything needs to chill out. We break the expected move again. All I'm doing is the same trades, but my allocation's a lot less. Like, I'm not just fueling a fire, just all of a sudden burn my account up. So if I have any hopes of catching up, we need to start lining some things up. And if we break the expected move 3 weeks in a row, there's no way I'm just sticking my neck out there just to lose that. 100% in 5 years is good. Yeah, of course it's good. I mean, people like, again, guys, if you buy the S&P, that's 10% a year. So in theory, it's with if you keep it invested, it's less than 10 years, but still, basic math would put that at 10 years. If we don't sell off, we're taking that swing high. Yeah, well, it'll be the all-time highs news headlines this week. All right, let's talk about the Russell, the little guy that could. Man, I didn't trade it, but even I got faked out right here. Because I vaguely remember saying something like, hey, if it breaks this blue zone, we're probably, because we were thinking like bear flag, Russell doesn't look good. There's the heads and tails to every coin, right? So like maybe that's the high or low, but I was thinking if we break this, not good. They came out, broke it, and was like, everybody get excited. Did everybody buy their puts? Okay, good. Send it, and then they just waited. I don't know how many, I can't imagine how many bears they roped in on that day just to rip their faces off. Lil Russell did not like what you guys were saying behind his back. Blew through this yellow zone like it didn't even matter. Like, yeah, we if you've been following me for a while, then we hit that zone and kind of like held on for a second. That's all the interaction we had. 3 sellers, and then we just went for it. And today we gapped up and we're pushing up. Small cap is killing it. What's financials doing? Anything? Hopefully it's a bull flag on financials. That should certainly help the Russell out. Only 7 weeks left to get those numbers if you're starting from 0. What are you talking about? I just got options level 3 from Moo. Can sell options again? I don't know how to get level 4. Is it level 4 or level 5? One of them you don't need. The last level is only selling naked calls without shares. I don't care what your account is. Never turn that on. Why didn't you wait to see if it broke resistance for puts? On which one, Aaron? 100% people are going to overhype rate cuts. Everything will be overbought and boom, sell off. Oh, yeah. Hang on. You don't think we will rise after rate cuts the next few months, then crash? History may repeat. Okay, so you think everything will rise after the rate cuts. Careful with that. History will repeat, because this history is nothing like we've ever seen before, and you're going to try to compare it to a market we've never been in before. It's kind of why I don't really care for people that compare things to 2008 and 2000. One's a dot-com bubble. I don't care what you say about AI, not even close. The other one's a financial crisis. And then we had 2020, which is the Rona. All very big scenarios, not even close to the same. There's some writing on the wall to where things could get rough. I don't know how much I would equate that to what you said. And that is one of those things, and I do try to be mindful of it, is are you right or are you coincidentally right? Both pan out, right? You make money on both. But if you go on believing everything you do was just correct and you're nailing it, that ends up building a blind confidence, and you're going to take a curveball somewhere, and it's going to be rough. So that's why I award things I do and try to figure out, like, the best example I have was TAN. It was a solar ETF. And again, we bought it in the group. And I even told everybody on YouTube, it was during the Rona, here it is. We bought it, absolutely sends it. So at the low at the Rona, it was $21, and then it goes to the very peak, $126. And I'm not saying I did that. I just bought it because I like solar. Somewhere around this spot right here, before it even peaked out, one of these top zones. I even said, guys, like I was right, but I'm not that right. Not a chance. And then sure enough, it just came back down. It's just hype. But going into that, just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I know everything. You'll end up loading up at the wrong time, and then you'll just lose a bunch of money. And you're asking for trouble if you do that. But speaking of TAN, it's kind of in those levels again where I do want to buy it. So that might be happening soon. Hang on, I want to keep an eye on that. Investing on history is like trying to time the market. I just think it's a bad idea. You know what? You're talking about history. Let's talk about history a little bit, because there was a very popular chart everyone was sharing just a little bit ago. Very popular. September, historically, red month. There's your history right there. Last 7 years or 6 years, it was red too. Because the second someone pulled that chart up in my group, I went and pulled up the yearly. We looked at every September month, and it was red until there's a couple of, they looked just like this, still technically red. I think it was 6 or 7 years. Was finally we had to go back to get the green one. But if we push up any higher, it's gonna be a green month. Imagine the real problem with that is you're taking one piece of data, and that's it. Just absolutely like, let's go. Like, you just looked at that chart and said, let's just shorten September, and you probably got really excited that first week, and then now you're right back down to nothing. All solar broke out because of Kamala, right? I don't think solar actually broke out. Let's check out some individual ones. Solar Edge, no, not really a breakout. That broke down. I kind of like these candles. We are going to change it back though. In phase, let's check them out. Yeah, no, solar's not broken out at all. And I would not equate that. And again, I know it's election, you're right. So politics are they got the radar. If you want to look at history, it doesn't actually matter who's in the office, red or blue. Doesn't matter. Might as well be purple. It's all the same. Market's going to do what the market's going to do. Where my head would be focused at is it interest rate sensitive? And a lot of the solar stuff is. So that's what I would be more focused on, and see how that acts. In phase and Solar Edge are going to be the top two, but if you want to do a solar ETF, that's just TAN, what I just pulled up. TAN, those are the top two in this ETF in general. What you could do is just wait for this to turn around. You could just put an alert right here at $50.15. If it breaks that, we're kind of breaking up. Things are looking good. If that alert never goes off, you never buy it, that thing could go to zero and get delisted, and you'll never know. And I promise it'll never matter. SCDG not looking good. I know, but don't say that. This is what I have on all my properties, too. I have Solar Edge panels. I like them. But, again, that's me saying that and turning that into why I bought the stock is silly. That's like going to Starbucks and there's a long line. She's like, I bet their stock's going to do good. That's what I did in the beginning when I first started. You know, that's silly stuff. But you're right. It is just trending down. If you have 1K in your account, try selling. Oh, okay, never mind. Hang on. Okay, still does that. Did we go over oil yet? I'm glad you're here, because here we are. I am going to be probably a pretty big buyer of oil here in a little bit. Now, I do like that oil is down. It's really cool. That's the one positive perk about election year is they want to blame like the oil prices on them. Tinfoil hat, you know, who knows? But at least gas is cheap, so you can drive to go vote. Send it. I haven't done an oil play yet, but I'm probably going to sell the 65 puts on the oil futures. It's just CLs, the oil futures. After the elections, I will probably take a directional play. I'll actually just buy the oil futures long. And that'll be it. I'll probably give it a decent stop. I am bullish kind of overall. And again, the purple is the weekly zones, and this is kind of horizontal on the weekly time frame. So we've got some dips down here. And that's kind of why I'm gonna wait. But I bet I don't think we're gonna hang out here very long. It'd be really cool if we did, and filling up was $20 again. Be really nice. Do you see a play on TLT going into rate cuts? I'm bullish TLT. I do have some in my account, not options, just actual shares. Thoughts on Tesla for tomorrow. Dr. 52 trade. We're going to go over just that. And when I'm done, you're going to be Dr. 53 trade. I'm just kidding. I'll quit making jokes. But we're going to go over that. Because Tesla better just gap to $350 tomorrow. Just saying. I have some calls over the weekend on Tesla. So I hope it just sends it. TLT. I just think I'm bullish. I don't know if I care about this week or not. I'm on a higher time frame with this. Like I would go long TLT. My stop would be 93.85, which means I'm about $7 a share risk. If you only want to risk $21, you're just going to buy 3 shares. That's it. But I would be bullish overall. Bullish this coming week. I am bullish Monday. Tuesday's going to be nothing. I think Wednesday we're going to sell off. So you can come back and tell me how wrong I was on Wednesday if we don't. Just know that I'll remember your name, and I'll make fun of you everything you say that's wrong from the day on after that. Let's talk about Tesla real quick. All right. So Tesla. Please quit jacking around. Send it. All right, so I bought some calls, some 230s. Should be 230s for October 18th. Yeah, it's right after it's October 11th or October 18th. So I went and bought the 230s, and I'm gonna buy more if it does hit this zone. It didn't. That was my plan. I'm gonna buy one here. I'm gonna buy another one down here. I did get a little bit antsy, and I bought another one on Friday anyway. So I'm hoping Tesla just sends it. It's really cool when you don't have to do the dip buy thing, and it just goes. I don't mind that. I don't mind just being green straight out of the gate, and it just sends it. So as far as Tesla goes, watching that, I'm just going to have to watch Fridays. Watch this wick right here. If it gets above 232.70, we're probably rocking and rolling. If it gets below 226, yeah, it's probably going to a little bit more of a dip buy. And at that point, anything below 220 would be on my radar for a buy. As far as that goes. But really watching this zone. Hopefully, so we hit that zone. So look at every time we hit this zone. So hit it, sold off. Jumped up again. Now, we sold off pretty quick. Now, we tested the Type 1 and Type 2. We got all up in their business. Every bear in there. It was a full-blown physical. Sold off. Now we're right back in. Not too many people are still here to party. So I'm hoping we kind of exhausted all the sell orders and we do break this thing up. It would be amazing if it got to 243 by this week. But I have expect kind of a Monday, Tuesday thing. We get to that maybe 235, 237-ish, and then it probably does pull back. Tesla to 300 end of week. I just like making money, so I would not be opposed to that. Is Nvidia going to break 120? Unfortunately, if you've never seen the cowboy hat, you wouldn't even be asking me that if you had. It better not, put it that way. Nvidia better end the week at 114. That would be sweet. Tori was asked for. What's Tori doing? Is it because I said something about prom? Does Tori want to go to prom? You said the 240 poor man covered call on Tesla? Yeah. Yeah, because that was for next Friday. Yeah. As far as Nvidia goes, I have to watch. We can probably check. We can check Robinhood and see where it's at. It better be. Hang on. Let's see what it's at. Robin's got that 20. It's at 119.51. Stop. It needs to stop. If it does get above that, your next real speed bump area is going to be that 126 area. Some people are probably going to worry about 124 as a resistance on their charts. I would really worry more about that zone up there. Let's see. What are my thoughts on SPY? Okay, I'm going to do it's a pretty cowboy hat. It's a very popular pattern. If you hang out with the politicians, if you've ever been to lunch with Pelosi, she talks about the cowboy hat pattern. That's what she does, to be honest. Being serious. Make sure you guys are following me, and I'll go over the cowboy hat pattern sometime. But if you look at TikTok, my goal, and it makes a little chime when I hit that, is 5,000 followers. We're at 3227. Got a little bit of room to cover. 5,000, I'll go over the cowboy hat pattern. At 10,000, I will go over the Hello Kitty pattern. Yeah, it's a real thing. Actually, at 10,000, I'll do one better. Hello Kitty and the Disney Castle pattern. Disney Castle pattern awkwardly did get played a lot. All right, so we're going to wrap it up with SPY and QQQ, and then I do have to get to my mentorship group. SPY and QQQ are going to be about the same. Same story, because I think this week is going to be, not that things are data-driven, I just think the excuse will be data this week and the rate cuts. I'm bullish going into tomorrow. I think Tuesday we see who the players are, who's going to remove risk. The bigger positions might just take some risk off the table, be some sell side. Might have some gamblers swooping in and buying it up. I think Wednesday rate cut, we go up and then it sells off. I think we rein things back in. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm bullish tomorrow at least. And that's for the S&P and QQQ. I'm really debating on selling some 575 calls. It'd be 575, 577, $2 call spreads on SPY for this week. If Monday is pretty green, I think I'll probably sell a few of those spreads. I just like $2 spreads on SPY, so that's where I'd be at. Nvidia will consolidate for a little bit. It should. Hopefully, and that's why I told you guys last week I'm going to keep the 117 or 118 calls that I have sold. If it drops down, I might move it to the 117. If it pushes up, 118. But I'm going to I'm going to roll that just every week and collect that theta. All right, Tilray. Did you guys hear pot's going to be legal? Oh, it's going to be amazing. Just kidding, it already happened. What do you want me to say about this? I don't know. Other than hopefully it turns into a pump and dump, but I don't know. Well, if it breaks 160, I wouldn't be in it with anyone's money. I can put it that way. It's just not a very good one, I don't think. Anyway, I do have to wrap off. TikTok, if there's any questions you want me to, I probably did go over whatever you're asking about. This is on YouTube on Don Fron Trading, the whole thing. So if you want to check that out, you can. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Make sure you're doing the cool stuff, the like, the follow, all that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.